Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Nick Kelbley, and today we need to talk about the Slaysian Royale lip syncs. The season just concluded, and I have to say I really enjoyed it. Don't hate me, but this is actually the first season of Drag Race Philippines I've ever seen, which I know is like a sin. But I plan on fixing that soon, maybe here on the channel, so like and subscribe if you want to see that. Still, I think that gives me an interesting perspective on this season and these lip syncs, because I came into the season not knowing much about these queens, and I have to say I'm obsessed, and they served it hard this season. However, this tier list is going to be a bumpy ride because while this season was amazing, not all the lip syncs were, unfortunately. So let's get into it and give a definitive and completely objective ranking of this season's lip syncs. And real quick, here is the tier list. We have the S tier, the A tier, the B tier, the C tier, and then at the very bottom, we have the Mama Pow editing error from episode 1, which are the lip syncs that probably should have been deleted from the season, but stayed in anyways. So with that, let's get right into it. First up from episode 1, we have Kiana versus Siam, and this lip sync is okay in my opinion. Kiana starts off hot by twisting and going right into a split, and from there she gave us a classic pop girl performance. Kiana just looks and moves like a pop star, and this is definitely her lane. Meanwhile, Siam is just kind of there struggling to keep up, and on top of that, she doesn't really know the words. Kiana really did run laps around her here. Overall, it's not a bad lip sync, but it's not great either, so for now, I'm going to put it safely in the B tier. Next on the list is Arizona versus Venus, and this is a good lip sync. Arizona pulls out her bang move in an outfit reveal. Venus is giving us tricks, props, and camp. I mean, on a technical level, this is a good lip sync. However, I still don't think it stands out when thinking about this season. It might be because the song choice wasn't my favorite, but I also think that they both gave more memorable performances with better props and tricks later in the season. So this lip sync isn't my favorite, but I still think it deserves a spot in the B tier, just above Kiana and Siam. Up next is Kitty versus Venus, and this is another great performance from Venus. She really gets to show off her dancing skills in this lip sync, and she served it. Also, she's really good at playing with the camera, and I love when queens lip sync to the viewers, it's always so hot. Unfortunately, Kitty doesn't know the lyrics to this song. I don't think she was gonna beat Venus regardless, but still, it was pretty distracting. So this is a weird one because I think Venus slayed really hard, but Kitty also flopped pretty hard. So it averages out to a high B tier for me. I know there's lots of B tiers so far, but I promise that's gonna change. The whole list is not gonna be B tiers. Up next from episode 4, we have Arizona versus Brigading, and this is the most confusing lip sync of the season for me. I have to start with Brigading because I don't know why she was doing this stiff robotic thing the whole time. And when she wasn't doing that, she was kind of just running around the stage and flapping her arms. Like I said earlier, this is the first time I had seen Drag Race Philippines, and this is my first time seeing Brigading lip sync, and she's actually a really fierce lip syncer. I just don't think she showed that in this particular performance. To be fair to her, this was another odd song choice. Arizona did okay, even though her wig looked kinda wild. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't living for this one. However, I think it wasn't quite bad enough to slip into the bottom tier, like another lip sync that we will get to, so I'll push this into the C tier. I didn't realize this until I started making this video, but this season kind of got off to a rough start when it came to lip syncs. Thankfully, it does get better from here. Because up next we have Suki versus Brigading, and this was a gag. Like, I did not expect them to serve this hard. With Brigading, how did we go from a performance in the last episode to this? I mean, she slayed this song from the tricks to the choreo, she had it all. Suki was serving sex down, and she was seductive and hot in this lip sync. And then to cap it off, we have them making out on stage, which was kind of iconic. What makes this even better is the queens in the back. You have Bernie and Arizona lip syncing to each other, the Mariahs, aka Kiana and Venus, just vibing out, and Yuha and Siam trying to catch this kiss in 4K. This is one of the lip syncs I've rewatched the most since it aired, and in my opinion, it's one of the best of the season, so it's going into the S tier. Next on the list is Venus versus Brigading versus Yuha, the first three-way lip sync of the season, and this was a shocking one. Going into the lip sync, I thought for sure either Venus or Brigading had it, but Yuha turned this one out. She used her campiness to her advantage and fit the vibe of the song really well. Also, her pulling out the piece of paper during the rap verse was hilarious and really clever, at least in my opinion. Some might argue that it was an excuse for her not to know the lyrics, but to be fair, I'm not sure any of them knew that rap verse, so at least Yuha made a bit out of it. Brigading and Venus both go for a sexier vibe, and they both do about equally well in the lip sync, but they both get outshined by Yuha, who gives probably her best lip sync ever. So I think this lip sync deserves a spot in the A tier. Now onto the Lollapalooza, and this one got off to a rough start with Yuha versus Suki to Goddess. They did not do this song justice in front of Sasha Colby, which is kind of disappointing because I think this could have actually been a good lip sync song, and some of the other queens on this cast could have slayed this. I will say, Suki was serving sex again and looked hot as usual, which we love, but she wasn't fully matching the energy of the song. And with Yuha, she was extremely distracting because the whole time she was pointing at Suki and focusing on her. I guess she's saying that Suki is a goddess, but that bit went on for way too long and she low-key ruined this lip sync for me. Also, I think Sasha's face during this lip sync kinda says it all. So unfortunately, I'm putting this in Mama Pow editing error at the bottom of the tier list. Up next, we have Brigading versus Venus, and I love this lip sync. They both slay so hard with the dancing, the props, and the energy they bring to the stage. This lip sync really had it all and was super chaotic, but in the best way. I mean, they had balloon popping, glitter everywhere, a fake hairdryer battle. They're obviously great friends and have amazing chemistry on stage. That really shined through in this lip sync, and they both really got to show off their talent. So in my opinion, I think this belongs in the S tier, but at the number 2 spot for now. Next up on the list, we have Arizona versus Kiana, and this is a very interesting one because it's essentially the battle of two different lip sync styles. They both pull out all the stops, but Arizona in a campy way, while Kiana gives us all the tricks and splits in the book. I love Arizona's vape trick here, it worked really well for the song. Also, side note, I love that Drag Race Philippines allows these queens to use so many props. I'm not sure what the rule is on bringing props on stage for different franchises, but the queens this season utilized them really well. Unfortunately for Kiana, I don't know if all of her tricks fit perfectly with the vibe of the song, which played much more towards Arizona's strengths, and I think it was fair that she won this lip sync. Still, they both served really hard, and this lip sync deserves a spot in the A tier. Up next is Brigading versus Arizona versus Suki, and this was a decent lip sync, but I think Brigading definitely outshined Arizona and Suki in this performance. It's not like Arizona or Suki did bad, but they both gave pretty generic performances. Meanwhile, Brigading was strutting across that stage, hitting the lyrics, giving us tricks, giving us sex. She really wanted the win, and it showed. So while I think Brigading gave a great performance here, Arizona and Suki don't stand out as much, so I'm gonna put this in the B tier. And the last lip sync of the Lollapalooza, we have Yuha versus Kiana, and all I have to say about this lip sync is, my god, Kiana slayed it. This, in my opinion, is her best lip sync of the season, and she proves why she's a lip sync assassin. I mean, her attitude in particular was perfect for this song. She's giving sexy but intimidating at the same time, and I was loving it. Also, her, let's just say, squirting guitar move, I was living for. It was definitely unexpected, and she gagged me a bit, for sure. Yuha is also so chaotic during this lip sync. She's snorting a certain substance and acting crazy, which again is camp, but I couldn't stop watching Kiana during this lip sync. Also, this gets bonus points for having a live band there. I think this might be the first time they've done that for a lip sync in any franchise. Correct me if I'm wrong on that, but it was really cool and it gave the lip sync a boost of energy and excitement. So for me, this is an S tier lip sync, mainly thanks to Kiana, and is going into the number 2 spot for now. Up next is Kiana versus Venus, and this is a really unfortunate lip sync, mainly because they kind of both fall victim to their outfits, but especially Kiana. She was wearing this giant circus outfit, which is gorgeous, but it's so big and heavy that I'm sure she could barely move in it. I was hoping the whole time that she would do a reveal, but maybe with how the outfit was constructed, there was just no way to get it off smoothly. I'm not sure, but unfortunately that really restricts her, and she kind of just gets stuck roaming around the stage. For Venus, she's pretty much just wearing a robe the whole time, but I think she was able to move a bit more and was able to sell the song decently well. On top of that, this was an extremely wordy song and a tough one to lip sync to, so there was just a lot working against them here, even though they're both amazing performers. Also, it's really hard to see Kiana go out like this. It seemed like she was getting the short end of the stick a lot this season, but on the bright side, I think she's going to slay either a Versus the World or a Global All-Stars one day, so it just wasn't her time. Anyways, it pains me to say this, but I think this lip sync belongs in the C tier. Next on the list is Suki versus Venus, and this is a great lip sync in my opinion. This song was a powerful ballad, and they both gave emotional performances to match. Venus in particular really crushed it for me, and showed just how versatile of a lip syncer she really is. Suki gave emotion as well, I just think Venus outshined her here. Even though I personally think Venus won this lip sync, I'm glad this ended up being a double save because they both were fighting for their lives and deserved to go to the finale. But ultimately, I think this deserves a spot in the A tier. Before we get into the last lip sync, I do want to put a quick spoiler warning here. If you have not seen the finale yet, I will be spoiling who wins the season. So if you don't want to spoil it for yourself, go watch the episode and come back or click off now. But yeah, here's a quick spoiler warning in case you have not seen the finale. And with that, let's get into the next one. Lastly, we have the lip sync for the crown between Brigading and Venus to a Marina Summer song, which is so camp since they were all in the same original season. I think they both gave high energy performances that matched the vibe of the song. I will say that for a lip sync for the crown, this did feel somewhat average. But then again, I think people like Sasha Velour and Nymphia, who ironically is there, have set the bar a little too high for the finale lip sync expectations. However, they both gave us clean, sexy performances, culminating with Brigading bringing out the race flag, which is fitting, and Venus smothering herself in blood. I personally do not like blood, so I was not living, but I can see people living for this, and I'm not docking her points just for that. I am fully aware that I am the weird one here, but still, I think Brigading deserved the win, and they left the season off with a solid final lip sync that I'm putting in the A tier. And with that, we have the completed tier list. If you disagree with any of my rankings, let me know in the comments down below, and you can tell me why I'm wrong, which I very well might be. This was a tough list to make, and I'm a little nervous to put this one out, but oh well. If you guys enjoyed, like and subscribe down below. That would really help me out a lot. And if you made it this far in the video, you're a real one, and I love you guys. Alright, I'll see you very soon with a new video. Peace.